Hi, it's Tim here from Signage Live, and I'm joined by Brian, Chief Marketing Officer from BrightSign. Thank you very much for joining.
Hey, Tim, how are you?
I'm very good. How are you?
I'm good.
How's the show been treating you so far?
Show's been amazing. It's
been
busy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
very busy.
Yeah. You went over to the Sphere last night.
We did. Yeah. I mean, talk about amazing experiences.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Crazy.
Did you try
Crazy.
and film any of it?
I did film some of it, but I don't think you can capture what you see there
I
on
looked at
film.
all my footage. I was like, oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
It's very
It's like
disappointing.
looking at a TV at that point.
Yeah.
So we're here to talk a little bit about BrightSign and how it
Yes.
facilitates what the customers are looking for today.
Yep.
So can you tell me a little bit more about that? Obviously, the new Series 5, quite well established now at this point.
Yeah.
What's the kind of ethos behind it? What were you looking to solve for customers?
Well, I mean, as you know, like everybody's focused on this immersive experience, right? How do we pull customers in? How do we tell bigger stories? It's not just static any longer. It's like, how do we engage customers and audiences into the actual experience? And so, I think the thing about Series 5 is it doesn't matter where you are in that digital signage journey.
Yeah.
There's something,
Yeah.
right, that we have. Whether you start at XC or you start at LS, people ask us, is it sequential in the way in which the product operates in the market? And it's really not. It really depends on needs, right? What are you trying to accomplish and understanding what that journey is? And we've got product that can solve all of that, right? Which is the fun part.
So what was because obviously with the Series 5 launch and all of the kind of range that you've got there, was there like a sit down conversation at any point saying, we've got to have a player that fills this need, we've got to have a player that fills that need? Or is it more just that it's an incremental, not incremental, because I know you say they're for different solutions, but what I'm trying to get to is, did you look at the customer base and go, we need this player to do that kind of solution?
Well, yes, but I think it's more around what are the expectations on the end user and what do we have in the lineup that fits that and where are the gaps? So, I mean, yes, I would lie if I said that we didn't take that approach of like, okay, this is solving this particular need for this customer. But really, it's like, what are some of the experiences that people are looking for?
Yeah.
You look at, for example, the banking environment. That was a very static environment when you walked into a bank. Now it's very engaging.
Yeah.
And it's how do you pull and get information to customers as fast as you possibly can and make it impactful?
Yeah. That makes so much sense. There's some really interesting contacts in the industry, like Gymnista. It does a lot of stuff with you guys, and obviously we've got Nextsphere here as well. And just the level of experiential content that is now being made. And I think a lot of it before was theoretical possibility.
Yeah.
But now with brick and mortar stores trying to change the way they're engaging with people, and you see it most in Vegas. Vegas is the hub spot of everything has to be an experience. You want to go get milk, you got to have like a big experience for it. Everything down there has to have that big wow factor.
Right.
So, and I think it's interesting to see now that turning point of, yeah, we've got this really incredibly powerful device, but we're rarely going to use it unless it's just for a big video wall.
Yeah.
But now it's being drawn to be used for other things like just to learn technologies, more HTML5, and just trying to create that kind of engagement.
Yeah. And I think you mentioned like that big wow experience, right? Sometimes it's actually more impactful when it's that everyday experience and you add something to it, right?
Yes.
So for example, we've got in our booth, we've got an Nextsphere sensor from a retail application, right? You lift up a pair of sunglasses and the sensor knows the actual weight of the glasses, right? So then on the digital signage, it's showing you that specific information. But the fact that someone knows like the weight is actually triggering it. So someone can put it back on a display. So from a retailer's perspective, it's not like if that gets messed up, it's going to change the experience. You can put it anywhere. The weight is the thing that triggers it. Those experiences are really amazing. You talk about jewelry, right? You approach the cabinet, proximity sensors, right? Illuminate the article that the person's going to look at before they even get there. Those all are little small moments that just take an everyday experience and make it that much better.
And sometimes you might not even pick up that it's happening to you. You just kind of engage with it. A great example of that happened to me with the Sphere.
Yeah.
And then suddenly there was wind blowing.
Yeah.
It's like, is it just windy or is this part of the experience? It's kind of so subtle that it could be missed, but it also just adds to the texture of the entire experience.
Did the smell in that space actually change,
I
right?
have no sense of smell. Because someone said, oh, did you sense the smell? It's like, well, I don't know.
Yeah.
So I totally missed that one.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah, it's really cool. And I think it's a really good testament to exactly what we're talking about, which is just taking digital signage away from just the screen and it being part of an entire solution. And that's now it's more the de facto way of having conversations. Well,
I agree. And it's the expectation, right? Those are the conversations. Those are the moments that differentiate brands.
Yeah.
When someone can understand the importance of that and whatever experience they're trying to create, whether it's retail, corporate, banking, quick serve, any of those types of environments,
Yeah.
the minute you can change the expected and make that something extraordinary,
Absolutely.
is people are going to gravitate.
And I think there's a piece to it as well, is because the digital signage industry now is it's grown up a lot more. Anyone can go and create a CMS or whatever and find whatever piece of hardware that will do some videos and images. It's too easy to do now.
Yeah.
So you've got to look at the next thing in terms of what can we differentiate ourselves with. And it's kind of working in tandem with the way that the retail industry is working as well, is they also need more at the same time.
Yes.
So you're both growing up together to go,
Yeah.
we got to deliver more, because it's not enough to have products on the shelf anymore.
No.
Got to have some reason to get out of your Amazon shopping list or whatever and go and see something.
Yeah. It's amazing. It's such an exciting time, because as we look at the floor here and we look at all the different things that are happening, every step I take, I'm like, that is amazing. Like, that's really unique. I mean, it's game changing. And I think what the next 3-5 years in this space, even next year in this space, is going to look like is just going to be absolutely amazing.
I think it'd be interesting to see what AI is going to do with that.
I was just going to say, AI is going to change this.
It's always a good ender to the conversation, because everybody has an opinion, but nobody knows.
Right.
So and there's no wrong answers at this point, right?
No.
Do you have any kind of perception of where AI might affect hardware?
Well, I think at the end of the day, the goal, right, is how do we customize that experience even further, right? So what's involved in being able to do that? It's obviously a topic that we're looking at, right? How do we integrate in everybody's? If you're not, right, you're going to miss something, because we use AI in everything. And there's the factors of it that people are like, they're hesitant because they don't know, and there's security concerns, and there's all of those things that come out there, right? But let's be honest. There's those, but there's also a tremendous amount of opportunity.
Absolutely.
And actual changing of experiences that AI can introduce. And that's the part that's exciting, right? We shouldn't lose sight of that because of all the other things that people are worried about.
Yeah. Well, I like to think of it like when YouTube came out, you had a period of time where there was just a wild west of what you could upload.
Yeah.
It's like, there are no rules. Like, people made businesses out of that overnight, and they became successful just based on the platform existing.
Yeah.
And AI has the same opportunity to be like, everybody in this entire building started on day one of zero.
Yeah.
Nobody knew anything. And now things are starting to pop up. We go, oh, I had this idea. And maybe we haven't seen the killer concept yet, but people are testing things out quickly. It's going to be the fastest evolution of a new product. You'll see, probably next year, you'll see completely dedicated AI solutions that you can install into things.
Yeah, and I think everybody has a responsibility, right, from the security aspect of all that stuff. So as you're developing, I think there's a lot to keep in mind, because there are elements to AI that are challenging.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I think if you actually know that, and that's part of your plan,
100%.
then I think there's a level of responsibility that developers are having that are incorporated in, and that just opens the door for unlimited possibilities. Yeah. So I think with AI, right, I think as people are developing, there's obviously a responsibility that we all have in doing that.
Yeah.
But I think that as we do that, I think you have to, as long as that's part of the plan, understanding all of those different elements to it, as well as the experience side to it, because you don't want to sacrifice one for the other.
Yeah.
I think we'll be in a really great spot. And I think, to your point, everybody here is looking at that in one way.
Yeah, 100%. Well, Brian, thank you so much for your time.
Pleasure.
Really appreciate it.
Thanks.
I'll see you around.
Absolutely.